Hi everyone, you have reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. For all of you out there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Like this video, hit the like button, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. And finally, share my video with your friends and family so that they can come to my channel and get to know me also. I'm here today with a video on, I guess, Wendy Williams, Gary Owens, and his ex-wife, Kenya Duke. And then she brought Claudia Jordan into the picture. So we got a whole nother type of entanglement going on. So I want to say it was on Friday or one day last week. I'm saying last week, but today's only Saturday. So one day, this week that already passed, Gary Owens was on the Wendy Williams show. Well, first let's talk about Wendy. Wendy is throwing herself at every single, and I mean every single man that comes on the show. It's embarrassing. It's ridiculous. Even if she's joking, she needs to stop. It is too much. And she's making some of them feel uncomfortable. And I don't want to go there, but if this was a male host doing the same thing to every female coming up there, I think more would be said. But I think because it's Wendy, they're letting her get away with it. It's messy. It's too much. And I get appalled and embarrassed for her every time I see it. So he wasn't the only one, but he was subjected to it when he came on his show. She was flirting with Gary Owens to the point where he didn't even know how to handle it and what to say. But you understand what I mean when I go into it a little more. His wife responds about him being on the show, and this will bring Claudia Jordan into it. First of all, I want to say about his wife, Kenya Duke. They were married for at least 2 decades, 20 plus years. That's a lot of years. Gary Owens did mention on the Wendy Williams show that, he's in a different space than his wife is. So that was a kind way of saying, I'm over the relationship, I'm over the marriage, but I don't think my ex-wife has quite gotten there yet, or soon to be ex-wife. And clearly she hasn't, and I get it. When you spend 20 plus years with someone, even if you're breaking up and you're separated, you can't just roll over. I mean, some people can, because obviously Gary did, but it's hard to just roll over and just, not think about them and just forget about it. She seems to be having trouble letting go, and I think her girlfriends need to surround her. She's a beautiful woman. Someone needs to help her because she has got to move on. So she made a post after his appearance on the Wendy Williams show on her Instagram page. Let's read what she has to say. I got to put on my glasses. So it said, Gary, while I'm not pressed, I am highly irritated. I keep telling myself I will no longer respond to any actions or untruths because I'm better than that. But the truth, I guess I am not. You talk about me all the time on stage and in conversations. Okay, that's what she wrote. It gets back to me. I don't care. But you do care because you're writing about it. But this mockery was too much. And I guess she's talking about she felt the mockery on the Wendy Williams show was just too much for her. So she had to discuss it. First, I would like to start by saying something nice. Okay, that's nice. I thought you looked great today. They prepped you well. And I'm very happy for the movie because he came there to promote his upcoming movie. However, I was shocked you spent most of your time talking about me, the divorce, son, and daughter. I'm going to stop there for 1 second. First of all, Kenya, Wendy Williams, if you watched the interview, she was asking him questions. She was pressing him. He didn't really want to talk about it, but I mean, you come there to promote your movie, but someone's asking you certain questions. And I think he answered them lightly. I watched it. He wasn't trying to dog you out, but he did respond with his answers. I mean, he has that right, right? So, however, I was shocked you spent most of your time talking about me, the divorced son and daughter. If the streets are good to you, because Wendy Williams asked him, is he single? Is he, does he have a girlfriend? And he said he's for the streets, right? So she said, if the streets are that good to you, then why waste that opportunity and not talk about upcoming projects, club dates, what you are learning in the streets as an older guy? So she's going to give him a little dig there. That's a little dig to say, you didn't have to put in an older guy, but she wanted to put a little dig in there, right? Pretty much saying you're an older guy, you left your marriage, and now this is what you want to do, run the streets, okay? So maybe finding out what the host likes to do. She was obviously interested. Well, sweetie, he's no longer your husband. Doesn't matter who's interested in him. Do I think Wendy Williams was wilding out and flirting with him too much? Yes, I do. But that is none of your business anymore, Kenya. And I like you. I don't have nothing against you. I don't even know you, but it's not your business, right? You could have shut it down real quick with that's my past. And focus on my future. Why didn't you do that? She's saying. So she said, why didn't you? Well, he could have said that, but he didn't. Because you want my attention and you knew someone. Okay, let me go to the next thing. She said you knew someone would send it to me. Your public relations machines sent you to the show for damage control regarding being a deadbeat, but thought they would sell it as you are there to talk about the movie. Well, she called him a deadbeat. Here's the unfortunate part sometimes when couples break up, because the social media is available, they have their little tidbits and fights, in the social media realm. So she got mad at him. She called him a deadbeat. But let's be clear. The kids are not in the birth to 5-year-old range. They're not in the 5-year-old to 15-year-old range. They're not even in the 15-year-old to 17-year-old range. She has adult children. Y'all were together all of their childhood. He doesn't speak to his adult children often. Well, most adult children, once they're out of the house, they don't speak to their parents every single day. So he provided for them. He is not any child support involved. Why are you calling him a deadbeat? So, he went there to control that narrative, but the narrative was messy to begin with, okay? So you said he went there, being a deadbeat, but thought they would sell it as you are there to talk about the movie. But you never got to the movie. He did talk about the movie. Your PR sent a couple of questions that needed to be asked regarding the divorce and being a deadbeat. And of course, Claudia. So she's saying that I guess the PR team, they sent questions ahead of time, and these were the questions they sent because they did bring up Claudia on the show, right? The show chose a few questions. When the random question about cheating was asked, there just happened to be a picture of Claudia ready for the screen. So convenient, she says. Well, no, they got a show to do, honey. So they had the picture. They knew they was going to ask the question. You also used it this time to tell a 7-year-old story about flying to a baseball game, I guess, or a basketball game. You didn't have one current story about a conversation or experience with your son. When they bring the kids in, it just gets messy. Did you tell her about a couple months ago in April, canceling 2 days before your child was supposed to meet you in Baltimore, but you called and lied that all shows were canceled so child couldn't come? When the truth was you added shows all weekend. What about the premiere? Congrats. She's mad at him. Okay, she's mad at him. You didn't mention it or invite your son and daughter, okay? They had to see it on the internet. Yet Lisa's daughter was there. I don't know who Lisa is. That's another person was there. with you, and you were so proud to make her Snoop dreams come true. I guess whoever Lisa is, she met Snoop Dogg. Well, maybe your son and daughter had Snoop dreams too. Ay, ay, ay. Did it cross your mind how that picture with you, her and Snoop, would make them feel? You know the same feelings you had watching your dad. She's bringing in dirt. This is dirt. This is dirt. So apparently I'm getting from this post, maybe him and his dad had issues. Not nice, Kenya. Do better. Does Lisa care about your relationship with your children? Knowing firsthand what you had gone through even as an adult? You're off Monday through Wednesday. Are you suggesting 6 months you have not had one available Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday for them? You do not have a healthy relationship with them, and you know it. As their father, their example and protector, their peace and well-being should be priority. The text relationship is a joke and not worth discussing. Yesterday, you had the perfect opportunity to talk about how much your kids mean to you. Okay? So she's saying when he was on the Wendy Williams show. You can't wait to see them in person or texting. Okay? Our texting relationships, am I right here? Our texting relationships are hard, but you all are working on it. Neither one of them are legal. Your youngest is 18. I have never heard of parents in conversation refer to their kids as adults. It's semantics, right? Because the world considers you adult at 18, legal at 21, but you know, if you do something illegal, I mean, it's crazy. They say legally you can drink at 21, but at 18, you do something illegal, they'll charge you as an adult. So, I mean, it depends on who you ask, what age do you really become adult. I have never heard of parents in a conversation refer to their kids as adults. I never asked a person, how are your kids, no matter how old they are? That's just weird. Really? You have really good kids. Stop being so, and she curses, shitty towards them. Your priority yesterday was defending irrelevant Claudia and her friend. So I guess Lisa is Claudia's friend, and now you want to say irrelevant Claudia. Come on, Kenya, we're adults. And this is no longer your husband. I know it may hurt, but you got to let it go. Claudia is the most invested person in this divorce and the first to comment why. And if you and Claudia don't stop mentoring, she introduced me to a hairstylist 15 years ago, which I am forever grateful, but so what? We don't talk. She doesn't have my number. She is a good friend to you, not to me. Stop saying or staying quiet. You fed Claudia the information you want out. She talks. I talk to Gary all the time, but I don't have permission to divulge as she starts to drop the nuggets you want out there. It's so comical, one-sided, and apparent. Okay, so Claudia has stepped into this mess. There are so many pretty girls with, I guess he likes his big butts and low self-esteem. That's so messy. I mean, I guess, I don't know if she's talking about Claudia or Claudia's friend Lisa when she says about these big butts and low self-esteem. Please find one or a few that can help you get through this divorce. I left my job to focus on your career behind the scenes, booking and managing you because you were walking around with a dude that had pee-pee stains on his pants. This is the father of your kids, Kenya. I mean, I know you hurt, but that's a bit much. I had no choice but to step in. I produced and figured out your first 4 specials because we couldn't find anyone to do it or put up the money. Every fight you had, business or personal, I have fought for you. Gary, you didn't have a B plan. Let me see, I'm sorry here. So it was my job to make sure the A plan worked for the family. Do I believe that wholeheartedly? 100%. I mean, husbands and wives do this for each other all the time, especially when they really love each other. And unfortunately, we have heard other celebrity wives that have gotten a divorce say they were the backbone behind the machine. But it happens. They leave you, it happens. You got to get over it. You have the talent, just not the interest of the entertainment community yet. Stop with these lies. I am happier and I want you to be happy doing what you love. No more time for your subliminal or overt cries for my attention. You know exactly what buttons to push for reaction. Every move you make is planned, including that t-shirt. I never realized the person I helped the most. She said, I never realized the person I helped the most was actually the one I should have been protecting myself from. Please hug Gary when you see him. Okay, if you want to read it for yourself and see it for yourself, it's on her Instagram. Okay, she wants you to give Harry a hug when you see him. But Kenya, we got to give you a hug too, right? Because at the end of the day, again, I will say this statement, Michelle Obama said it best: when they go low, we got to go high. You really got to go high when kids are involved. You're saying your kids are not adults, okay? He labeled them as adults. You're saying they're not. I mean, one's in college. You wrote there the other one is 18. The youngest is 18. They're young adults. Do you like that word better? But even so, you're talking about their father, which is 50% of them on your social media. So you're bothered. You're still hurt. You're blaming Claudia because of this new woman he has. But listen, if it wasn't this girl that known Claudia, it would be someone else. I mean, it's hurtful, but you're saying at the same time that Claudia is not your friend. So if she wasn't your friend, then again, why are you so bothered? Why are you so bothered? And then you're mad because, Wendy was flirting with him. If you watch the interview, you will clearly see he wasn't feeling it. He didn't know how to get out of it. He didn't know how to deflect Wendy. I mean, he's on her show. She's the host and she's asking him the questions. And then she's going to ask him about going out to dinner on the show. I think Wendy thinks it's funny and it's a joke and it's cute. She doesn't realize how much of a mess she looks sitting there, hitting on every single man that comes to her show. It's just messy. But Wendy doesn't see it, but what does that have to do with Gary? But even still, we got to go back to the fact, this man is no longer your husband. I get it. 2 decades. I get it. You're hurt. I get it. You may be mad at the shots that are going back and forth. And the t-shirt she's referring to is, he one day wore this t-shirt that said breadwinner across it. That's a dig to her, to say that he's the one that made the money, she was not. But when you have someone that's behind you, that's supporting you, and without that support, you wouldn't be where you are, you got to give some credit where credit is due. Okay, so she didn't physically go out and make this money, but everything she did behind the scenes helped you make that money. And then in addition to that, she raised your 2 children. In this particular case, Kenya, I'm going to have to say this, and this is going to be my final verdict. I always end up siding with the females in different disputes. This one, I'm going to have to hit the gavel and give it to Gary. And I'm going to tell you why. 1, your children are adults now, or at least young adults. 2, if they're really missing daddy, the youngest is 18. The other one, and I believe that's your son, your daughter's in college. They can pick up the phone and start to cultivate and have their own relationship with daddy. And all you need to tell them is, when they come to you, listen, I loved your dad. He's your father. You still need to have a relationship with him. You gotta call him on your own. And the reason why you have to call him on your own, I don't want him to think if I tried to call him, I'm stepping in, because we're not in a good space right now. Tell him the truth. They're young adults. We're not in a good space right now, me and your dad. So it would be best if, you cultivate this relationship without me trying to be the middle person. And then maybe he will respond better because he's going to know that he doesn't have to deal with me. And although that may hurt like hell, Kenya, that's what needs to happen. In addition, with this whole Claudia situation, throwing digs at her is not going to change your situation. The man has left the building. Okay? So throwing digs at her, throwing digs at, this Lisa, and just seeing everything that's still going on in his life, you're never going to get the hill if you keep looking back. You got to break the rear view mirror, pray, and only look forward. The whole thing with Wendy, I don't know why that bothered you. You can clearly see your husband didn't want no parts of it. He just didn't know how to get away from it because he's on this live interview with Wendy Williams. Throwing digs about his past. Not cute. Not cool. Throwing digs about his whole thing. He must have had a situation with his own dad. Not cool. Remember, everyone, once you put words out there, once you say words, you can't take them back. So watch what you say. Mean what you say when you say it. But then if you make a mistake and say something hurtful, apologize to the one you have hurt. Listen, guys, thanks for listening. Chat with me in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this situation. Right now, we got a little entanglement going on. Who's in this entanglement is Gary Owens, the comedian, his ex-wife, Kenya Duke, and she keeps dragging by her hair and her toes Claudia Jordan into this entire situation. It's a hot mess, but I think in this particular case, it's a hot mess because Kenya Duke cannot let it go. Gary Owens even said that on the Wendy Williams show. He was like, she has not gotten in the space that I am in yet. And again, I'm telling you that men is, I'm good. I let that situation go, but Kenya has not caught up to me yet. Kenya, do one of them dating apps. Have a friend introduce you to a friend. Something. But you gotta let Gary go. The relationship you had, embrace that. Keep those memories close to your heart. But it's over. He's not coming back. Thank you guys for listening. See you in the next video and stay safe.